Think we should be live. Allow me quickly to confirm. That's indeed the case. What is it? Here it is. Okay, let's see. Come on, say something. Okay, here I am now. That's fully confirmed. Okay, that's fully confirmed. We are live. So, yeah, my name is Hightech, of course, for those that don't know. And on these live streams, I talk about what just happened today in the cryptocurrency market, what do I think about it, regarding 11 years of my experience. And yeah, in the in between the lines, I explain what Hightech is, the meme coin with this mint address. It's a Solana meme coin, of course, and this is the only project I advertise here. Hence, it's kind of in that indirect stock, in an indirect way, a stock of my social media, and yeah, maybe that is why with this innovative approach, um, on the line influencer, a promoted project, meme coin in this case, maybe it's kind of interesting, proposition, let's say. So yeah, let's start. Let's start and let me say one last word. Jesus is king, and let's go. Okay. And why did I say that? Because I actually decided I'll be vocal about it. What ethical principles are dear my heart. It's actually a why not? Why not? Why you shouldn't know what the person the person you watch, what kind of let's say um, ethical principles follows. So I let you know this way. That's what I decided, and I think the world needs it. To be honest, to pay a little bit more attention to ethics. I think this part of the especially Western population got a little bit lost, and it's guided by completely false narratives, false truths, so to call them. In the meanwhile, you actually don't have to search far to get the best guidance ever. Okay, so yeah, a couple of things have happened today. KDA, as you see, keeps following with that huge, brutal decline, and to be honest, it makes me think more and more about trading it because this looks very juicy. If they do not delist it from Binance, I mean, if Binance does not delist them, I already said it on my Telegram group that probably I will turn on a trading on it in my trading system. Why? Because the more given market reduces, the easier it is for it to score a very high pump, right? And this is a proof of work coin. It's a layer one, so that's a plus. It's not a token; it's a layer one. It has its own economy, right? Thanks to proof of work. Nowadays, proof of work is much safer than it used to be, thanks to AI. From investing perspective, why? Because back in the day, if you bought mining equipment, dedicated, powerful chips, computer chips to do mining. Once the mining itself stopped to be profitable, the only way you could squeeze any kind of remaining money from it, was to sell it, just to sell the equipment, right? Because the equipment was not was not giving you any kind of revenue anymore. It was just a depreciating asset. It was losing its value. It was not earning you a single dime until the next bull market. And that's from diagnose bear market to bull market is usual before people realize that they should turn the miners on again. It takes around a year on average. So that is why, and in minds of people that haven't experienced cyclicality, once they enter a bear market, they think it will last for long years, right? So they were selling it then, right? And now there is a completely new use case for it because even if mining is not profitable anymore, you can lend that computing power to AI, right? To compute AI, something that was non-existent in previous bull market, right? So this is a huge game changer, and that's why it is, I think, much more reasonable to expect from proof of work coins to have much stronger foundation thanks to AI, right? Thanks to that simple fact that the the compute that is not profitable for mining anymore can be to AI, rented out to AI, and if the profitability comes back, you can quickly power up proof of work algorithms. So yeah, so that's why I'll be extra careful with neglecting proof of work coins. To be honest, extra careful. So yeah, hopefully they do not delist it if it stays like this. What I would like to do to see, I mean, what I would like to see here is this thing finding a bottom somewhere, going sideways for some time, for a week or maybe even two. That would be a perfect scenario. I'm not sure if we have that much time to do it. Why? Because according to pretty much all of the metrics I know of, we should be at the bottom in the altcoin market. This is like it looks like a rock bottom, literally. Even though when we go over, for example, to crypto fear and greed index, yeah, historically we've seen it at lower levels. Now it's 29, and maybe not this version, right? Not this version, but other versions of crypto fear and greed index we've seen at lower levels, and so that could be a little bit tricky when you think of it. By the way, I don't remember if I. Okay, I'll check it later. Now it's too late. I check it later. But this is the wrong. I have a wrong live stream on the screen. Okay, whatever. By the way, guys, if you have any questions, of course, ask me in the live chat. Don't hesitate to speak your mind if you agree or disagree, or maybe I don't know, maybe you have something interesting to tell me in the live chat. Of course, I will comment on that if I feel, let's say, qualified enough. If I don't know, then I will just let you know. I have no idea what you are talking about, so I will not be trying to pretend like I know. But yeah, very interesting situation here. We'll see how it develops. But as I previously mentioned, the key thing here to me is that so it stays on Binance because my systems are designed for Binance. So I need it to stay there in order to fulfill on my word here, right? And Bitcoin has actually jumped out of the trade I was showing you yesterday, of the buy signal I showed you yesterday on the 50-minute. Yeah, it's here, right? And it gave me a 4.5% loss, which if we look at last four trades, it almost nullified my previous profit, but that happens, that happens. Nothing to overly, be worried about. Uh, does that mean we should follow lower? No, absolutely not. My bet is that won't we won't follow lower. I think this market will you know will regain the upward momentum very soon. Probably even today, or maybe tomorrow. As you may already know, quite a lot depends on Thursday. And maybe that's why today we are having a depot, right? Because it's Wednesday right now. And sorry, I just read a message. Somebody wrote me a message. And yeah, maybe that is why we are dipping today on Wednesday, because Thursday needs to be green. Thursday needs to be green. So if any dips had to happen, it's better if they happen today, right? On Wednesday. Who knows? Maybe that's the whole trick of today, right? Yesterday and today / today. Because as you see, the market is trying to recover now, right? Is trying to get back Wednesday. It's trying to flip it green. And yeah, probably if I'm right, the closer we get to Thursday, the stronger it will try to recover. When you go over to crypto bubbles, as you see, it's mostly red for last 24 hours. Just here and there is some, green bubbles of somewhat visible size, like nil, for example. By the way, I have a nil in trade as well, and it's doing quite good. I mean, can't complain so far. Let me show you. Plus 20% profit. But there was a lot of going on here, as you see, since the entry. It was going up and down, up and down, up and down, but finally it gave up to the buying pressure. And I think this is somewhat, in a miniature, quite a good representation of what is coming to the crypto market, to overall altcoin market, rather. And yeah, we've been going up and down, but at the end of the day, it will have to give up to buying pressure. Why? Because there is, I mean, who else is selling, right? Like literally everyone and their mother already sold. So of course, you can still try to make a case that market makers will still, manipulate it. They'll be shaking things up, will not allow it to stabilize. But at certain point of market reduction, market makers lose whatever incentive of doing that. So I think way too many coins already reached that point, reached that stage, and that is why market makers will literally leave them alone until they get they gain a little bit regain a little bit of retail interest back, and that could take a while, after such a beat up that started on Friday 10th this month. In the meantime, Bitcoin dominance keeps doing what it was doing, so it keeps climbing up slightly. Let me show it to you on greater time frames. Yeah. For now, of course, it keeps climbing up, although as you see, the daily right now is marked in red. What I want to know is how tomorrow is going to be. Is it going to be red, strongly red, or is it going to be strongly green or somewhat green? because several weeks in a row we've been having red Thursdays. So the more Thursdays we get, the likelier it is that next one is going to be green. And we've been literally in a series of red Thursdays, what later resulted in quite a bad rest of the week every single time, because that rule somehow still applies, right? It's still alive. Whenever the Thursday is bad, the rest of the week is also bad. So given that Jim Cramer, he just tweeted or posted, however you want to call it, he just posted that you should trim your positions. Here it is. You see, crypto due for a push today. So this sounds a little bit bullish for a push, right? But when you read later on it, you gain clarity that he means a push down. We are in 2000 territory on specs, right? Here he means the year, probably 2000 dot-com bubble. It is where the cockroaches are, but at the same time, Jamie Dimon said the cockroaches are ending. He announces a $1.5 trillion fund that unwittingly stoked a huge spec wave. We must focus on this before people really get hurt. Trim, right? So that trim is the keyword here. So he advises to reduce exposure to the market, exit from the stock market, from the crypto market. Actually, I realized he has written crypto, not crypto. He wrote crypto. Okay. All right. So yeah, historically speaking, this guy he has an amazing record of calling things 180 degrees. So so whenever he says you should sell, you should buy. Whenever he says you should buy, you should sell. So that is literally, in my eyes, the final confirmation that market will have a very strong U-turn from what it has been doing so far. So altcoins should finally see a very decent rally. The part of the year is perfect. We're getting closer and closer to second half. I mean, we're closing the first half of fourth quarter and moving fast. Time flies into second half of fourth quarter. So we are literally in the most bullish time of the year, right? Market is grossly oversold. Jim Cramer is calling for even worse. What else you want, right? What else you want? I mean, you can't ask for more, to be honest. And on top of it, in the United States, they are lowering rates, and they obviously turning on printers in different ways. They will be injecting more and more, cash into the economy, which we already know about. So, the TradFi is looking for ways how to transfer over to stablecoins, to trading against stablecoins. Like, there's so many signs in the sky, a huge wave up in the altcoin field is looming. That is very, very difficult to ask for better indications, to be honest. I know it takes its time, it stays in the oven for a while, but it gets really, fully baked. It just, that is the process this time. And, it's difficult to ask for patience when it takes this long, of course. You can get nervous, and especially if you are DCAing outcomes, which I always discourage you from doing. I always tell you, if you want to DCA, then do DCA on Bitcoin. That's the best application for it. Altcoins are not really good for DCAing, and look at what happened with KDA. Even if you are DCAing it since it was listed on Binance, you had to be very, very badly hurt, and especially with what happened just last 24 hours or this month, generally this month. Extra hurt, right? I mean, KDA highly likely will have a few hundred of percents of a pump in upcoming weeks. But if you decide for a long time, then you will not recover your money anyway. So it's very difficult to ask for patience, having that kind of experience. But everything comes to an end, right? Everything comes to an end. That's the only thing market can do. Market can extend one or the other way and make you think that it's different now. It doesn't work as it used to, and the game has completely changed. Nothing like that. It always has two rules. It moves from oversold to overbought, from low under saturation or low saturation to high saturation. When you consider a certain market, certain asset, and that's it. And that's it. There is not much more secret to it. The whole trick is to spot what is when, right? And allocate accordingly or exit from the market accordingly. So allow me to quickly revise how live chats are doing. If you guys have any questions, of course, ask me in the live chat. So yeah, S&P is still close. I mean, the TradFi market is still not trading, but when we look at SPYX, so tokenized version of SPY, well, it's not looking that bad, right? It's not looking that bad. As you see here, the daily for now is painted in green. I like, how, candle bodies stay in one order. I think there is even a case for a bull flag here if you consider it from this perspective. And this is looking good, right? We stay in that vicinity of all-time highs. I'll have a little bit of volatility there. That's perfectly fine. But we don't see any kind of strong rejections, right? So yeah, throwing into the picture as well what Jim Cramer just said. I mean, that's like throwing gasoline at fire. I think we are up for another leg up, to be honest. And you should definitely not be surprised, seeing that, because if the market is already shaken out and we are where we are, it means all of those assets remain in strong hands that have long-term perspective. And given that they're about to add a lot of dollars to their balance sheets. Here, of course, I mean Fed, Federal Reserve, and government of United States. They're going to print add a lot of dollars to the circulation. That means dollar will keep inflating, so it's nowhere near safe haven. Eventually, gold could be treated as such, but gold is giving us a sign of being in a bubble. Currently, it probably has to cool off a little bit, because as you see, yesterday was strongly red for gold. So we could see some form of outflows from this market. Well, when we were around here, I was telling you that I saw materials of people selling their gold watches because the gold in those watches were more valuable, were pricier than the collectible value of the watch itself. That's like one of the most prominent proofs for the market to be in a bubble. And well, so far it looked like the timing of it was to a T, right? Like absolutely perfect. right at the top, right? Because since then we are correcting, and we could be correcting for a little bit longer. I mean, overall gold probably will be doing quite well anyway, against US dollar, because remember we measured it against US dollar. But probably if you measure it against crypto, it will be fading, especially against altcoins. Those that survived the bear market, because altcoins are still in their bear market. The others chart, so the one that supposed to represent overall altcoin market. Remember, it's actually heavily skewed, heavily distorted. I even think a word like manipulated also is not an exaggeration here. So this one does not reflect how the real picture of altcoin icon scene looks like. But okay, since we switched to this chart, of course, what I like is that we are in the upper zone of this support band, and it's giving us a very nice ground to stand on. It is demonstrating us that it's quite dense. It has quite a good density right now. So yeah, I think this is a very good starting point for a major rally up. I think it is, and I think this week, before this week ends, we should have it completely clear that we are entering the altcoin season, the altcoin season, not an altcoin season, the altcoin season. Even though right now it doesn't feel like it. I mean, it doesn't feel like it. It completely doesn't feel like it. But that is how it should be. The bottoms are like that, exactly like that. The bottoms make you feel that this is the end. You should be throwing in the towel. Nothing's going to come out of it for the next 1 year, 2 years, or maybe even 3 years. That is the kind of vibes you get at the end of a bear market. And this is what I'm sensing right now. Exactly. This is the kind of feeling, kind of vibe, kind of emotions I'm noticing around right now. Sorry, how long have I been talking to you guys? Okay, not that 29 minutes already. Oh my god, much longer than I expected. Okay, guys, allow me to wrap it up right here. I will be live streaming later today as well. Let's see how the situation develops. The closer we get to Thursday, the more clarity we gain. But yeah, the worse it is, the closer we are to the outcome market pumping. Don't get confused. Okay, that's the way it works. It always has been working like this. It always will work like that because of market mechanics that I've been explaining here for so long. Just stay away from futures market. Do not buy for everything. Do not go all in ever. Always leave a little bit of dry powder on the side and never sell everything. Stick to those three rules, and listen to what I have to say here on this YouTube channel. And I think if you have long-term perspective, you should do just fine, right? So thank you for the time, guys. For now, and I'll see you sometime soon.